Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Duh. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Good morning, Flosstube. How's everybody doing today? It's a glorious day today in Eastern Canada. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. The kids are all in school. I'm drinking hot chocolate out of a Beatles mug. Life is good. Welcome back to anybody who's back. Welcome for the first or second time to anybody who's here for the first or second time. I know that I'm not really sure why, but I got a nice sizably sizable chunk of new subscribers and new people over the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure where you came from. I'm not sure if somebody talked about me. Please tell me if they did so I can thank them, but I don't know where y'all came from, but y'all, but turning into Noah. Thank you and welcome. If this is your first or second time here, I'll tell you right off the bat, first of all, you're in for a treat. Second of all, this is a channel about, I'm going to say it's about like 95% cross stitch, 98% buffoonery and idiocy, and 0% math. So I know I said last time that I was going to be back in 2 weeks because I wanted to do like a 2-week gap and then a 3-week gap. And this is 3 weeks, but it did occur to me three weeks plus 2 weeks is the same as 2 weeks plus 3 weeks. Here, look, I just said there's 0% math, and I just did some very complicated math there. 3 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 3. What? And I think it might actually be better this way anyway, because the thing that I've got planned for 2 weeks from now is kind of specific, and there might not be as much time for regular cross-stitchy kind of stuff. Like it's going to be a normal video, but not quite a normal video. I guess you'll see if you're still here, if you survive the 2 weeks and stick with me, you'll see what I'm talking about. So it might be better this way anyway, that I had a 3-week gap. I've got more to talk about and more to show you. Also, one other reason why I waited 3 weeks, not to toot my own horn, even though I say that, even though I love tooting my own horn. It's like it's my favorite thing to do, to toot my own horn. But my last video, for some reason, got a spectacularly larger amount of views than is typical for me in a 2-week period. I've had other videos that have had those kind of numbers before, but not in a really small, short amount of time like that. I'm really not sure why. Like, thank you. I'm not sure why or what I did or what I said that made more people click on it. Maybe there was just a lull in YouTube and there was absolutely nothing else to watch. I've only had 2 videos in the entire run of all my videos that have more views than that last one, and I don't think that there was anything special about it. Was there? And the 2 that have more, I can understand why those ones have more. One was my very first video, which kind of makes sense because when people find me, they tend to go back to the beginning. And the only other one that had more was one that was like, it was posted and it was doing its regular thing, which was, pretty good. And then that was the first time that Chris from Chris Cross Stitch gave me a really good, like, talked about me a lot and about how much he loved me and gushed about me. So that gave it another big bump too. And I'm starting to chuckle because that's also the video that has my greatest number of dislikes because people were coming to me who had no idea who I was, and they were coming to me from Chris because Chris was saying such nice things about me. It's just like, oh, Chris, he's such a nice man. He's like Mr. Rogers. If he likes this nice guy, then we should probably go check him out too, right? And then they get here and it's like, so anyway, horn tooting, thank you very much. I'm not really sure why, what was so special about my last video. I wish I knew so I could do it every single time. Melissa thinks that it was because the thumbnail that I had was pretty colored bobbins and it was just eye-catching. Some people think that maybe it was just a YouTube lull or some kind of an outlier. I think that there's a much more reasonable, logical explanation than that, which is that you've all finally, after all this time, just given in and accepted the fact that I am your king. So I've got a lot to talk about today. I've actually got an itemized list of things to talk about. Here's what's on the agenda today. Some actual things, some real things, some really good things. I've got a thing that I finished that I'm going to show you. I've got a new pattern that I made that I'm going to show you. I've got progress on old things. I've got something that's somewhat of a new start, that's not really a new start, but that is kind of a new start. I've got Stitch Lady Melissa coming back to give you an update. I've got questions that you've been asking me that I'm finally going to answer. I've got quick little update about a trip that I'm taking next year, a stitchy trip that some of you are going to be taking with me, and it's going to be a party. We've got a lot of things to talk about. We don't have time for this bullshit. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about things. So I'm going to do something that's wildly out of character today, and I'm going to talk about me. Me. And then I'm going to take a little break, and you're going to get a nice little update from Melissa, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to keep talking about me. Me. So let's start by talking about me. Me.
Mr. Stitcher, Stitchman, Darcy, what you stitching on? What you stitching on, my Stitchman? Mr. Stitchman is a designer. Stitchman is a stitching on his own things, yeah. Mr. Stitchman is a stitching on his own stitchings, yeah. Mr. Stitchman, tell me what you stitching on? What you stitching on, Mr. Stitchman? Your own stitching. Ow! Yeah! Tell me!
First up, the project that I was working on that was a gift for my mother. A boy's best friend is his mother.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
I finished it, and I gave it to her. So first, just to jog your memory, let's take a look at what it looked like the last time I was sitting here, the last time you saw it. And now it's finished, and since I already gave it to her, I don't actually have it here to hold up and show you. But thinking ahead, I did film a little thing with it before I gave it to her so that I could include it in this video. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna jump in our DeLorean or our phone booth, depending on which time travel movie you like better, and we're gonna hop back to the past, and we're gonna let younger, hairier Darcy take it away. So let's do it. Let's go. Hi, Flosstube. It's me from like 5 days ago. Whoa, weird. Look how different the world was. Look how much hairier I was back in those days. Ah, memories. Look, I finished my thing, and I'm gonna give it to my mom today. Isn't it pretty? I even attempted to frame it myself. It's kind of a cheap little frame, and like it's a little crooked. I don't want to nitpick it, but like I've only framed 2 or 3 things in my whole life. I think it's better than just giving her the piece of cloth. It's slightly better. So I don't really have too much planned out to say about this right now, so I'm going to leave the talking to future Darcy. And while he's talking, I'm just gonna sit here over his shoulder and awkwardly hold this thing. So that's it. It's done. I think it turned out pretty good. It was really fun to stitch, and more horn tooting because that's one that I designed myself, and I like to do it. I liked the way it turned out. I liked doing it as I was doing it. It was fun. It was vibrant. It was kind of quick. It was all the things that you would want a stitching to be. I don't remember if I said this already, but I didn't want to just give it to her just as like a piece of cloth. I had like a cheap little frame, and I've never really framed anything before. Once or twice I tried a little bit, but I don't really know what I'm doing. But I did try to frame it, so at least it's cheaply, unprofessionally, amateurishly done, but it looked a little bit better than just handing her an unfinished piece of cloth. I think maybe someday I'll sneak in there and sneak it off the wall and get it redone properly. But I think it was okay. I think I did pretty good for not knowing what I was doing. When I gave it to her, she actually started crying, which I thought was really funny. I mean, like I get that like you can be touched by gifts from your kids, but I don't know. At the same time, it was like it's psycho, and it's a serial killer, and it's kind of a joke. But I don't know. It's beautiful. It's like you should have included a trickle of blood, but it's beautiful. It doesn't make me weep. My serial killer stitching for my weirdo son. My family is weird. So that's it. I don't really have too much more to say about that. It was fun to do. It turned out good. It's done. It's on her wall. It's available in my shop if you are desperate to do it too. It's there. There's a link below. If not, this will be the last time you ever see it and the last time I ever talk about it, unless I get it redone properly. Maybe I'll show it again. If not, here it is. There it is for the last time. Say goodbye to it. Say hi to it. Say bye to it. It's over. It's over, Johnny. It's over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing.
So I've got one more thing about me before we take a small break from talking about me and then get back to talking about me. I have one more new pattern up in my Etsy shop right now, which makes a grand total of 9. One more, and I'll have double digits. Double digits is exciting. I like two digits more than I like 1 digit. Anyway, here it is right here. This is a quote from Shakespeare's Richard III, and this is the type of thing that you feel smarter just looking at it, don't you? I give my personal guarantee that your IQ will go up at least 10 points stitching this, and 10 more when you hang it on your wall. You're in its presence and you feel smarter. It's the kind of thing that you see on your wall to let people believe that you read Shakespeare and that you read Richard III, even though we all know you didn't. You know you didn't. You didn't actually read it. I actually did read it, believe it or not. You didn't know I was so cultured and well-read, did you? I went to university and I majored in English and English literature, and I read all of this stuff. I was not allowed to get a degree if I wasn't very well versed in Shakespeare. And it turns out, I don't know if any of you knew this or not, but as it turns out, Shakespeare was a pretty good writer. And when you actually read some of that stuff, it's really, really good. This quote in particular also relates to something that I'm not going to get into, but it's something that was between me and my dad growing up and as a teenager. This is incredibly vague and you're not going to understand, but it's something that he was right about, that I argued with him about, that he was wrong about. And of course, as an adult, realized that he was 100% right about. And it would be great if he was still around so that I could tell him that and maybe even give him this, but whatever, we don't need to get all weepy about that. And also, do you see these things around it here that kind of look like snowflakes that actually are meant to be snowflakes? Do you know why those are there? Can you guess why those snowflakes are there? Show off your Shakespeare skills right now and tell me why there are snowflakes around this thing. It's because now is the winter of our discontent. What? What? I did not do that, did I? I did. I did that. I also wanted to say a really quick but humongous thank you to all the people out there who have been supporting me and encouraging me through this new Etsy Stitchman Designs Things venture. I don't know if it's getting annoying to hear about or not. I don't really care because I'm not going to stop talking about it. But thank you. You've all been very, like, I'm this close. I'm this close to selling 100 patterns, which I don't know if that sounds like a lot or not. Maybe it doesn't, but it sure feels like a lot. That because like I'm still kind of brand new. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm very, very novice, and I haven't been doing it very long. And to crack that 100 number of people that have actually bothered to go and look and buy, and in very many cases actually stitch the things, it's really, it's touching and it's exciting, and it's like it's encouraging to keep going. And I don't know. I don't really have words. I just wanted to say thank you, because it's going to continue. And now the tiniest, quickest, ever so smallest break from me talking about me. The long-awaited return. It's been a while. It's been since before Christmas since we've had a real update from Stitch Lady Melissa. So like enough of me. Let's get to what you're really here for. Let's see Melissa.
Stitch Lady Melissa, show me what you've been working on, yeah. I I'd watch you till the break of dawn. Show me what you've been working on. Who the fuck is Darcy? I don't know him. I'm here for Melissa. Stitch Lady Melissa. You gonna show me what you're working on, yeah. Yeah, girl. Show me.
It's me, Stitch Lady Melissa. I'm here. I made it. Duke's sleeping on the porch. It's sunny in here. It's a beautiful day. I have the day off. Stitch Man's in the other room, leaving me alone. Kids are at school. It's a good day. So let's get right into my progress because I haven't talked to you guys for like ages. So one of the things, that curtain just moved. So progress. So it's been a while. The last one, I don't even know if I showed, oh yeah, I did. I showed a little bit of progress on my Ukrainian thing that I got from Modern Folk Embroidery, Jacob. So this is what I have on it so far. I kind of put it down. I was hella busy doing a bunch of random other crap and it took away from the things that actually keep me calm and sane, and so I put this down for a long time and I haven't really been doing much of stitching at all. But then I picked up this guy and it kind of got me back into it, so that's why I'm sitting down and finally able to do another floss tube. Okay, so this, I started doing a whale. You guys saw some progress on Instagram. This is what I have so far. So this is the tail, well, will be the tail, and I thought the whole thing was gonna fit on this, but this is just the tail, one side of his tail, so it's gonna be, you know, big, but it's all one color, which I really like doing because I'm not one of those people that likes to switch back and forth using a whole bunch of different colors. Which brings me to my next work in progress is the one that Stitch Man did up for me, my birthday start, and he designed it of all the things that are kind of in our lives right now, and each little symbol represents one of the people in the family. So here's what I've got so far. Okay, it's not much and it doesn't look like that many colors because it's really not, but I don't know, it was like, I don't like pulling my threads across either in the back. Like, I don't want to connect these ones and then connect it, because there's gonna be another one over here. I don't want to connect those in the back. I want to like stop and then start, and they're so tiny. And then there's a bunch of color changes that I also stop and start instead of pulling them over. Like this even killed me, pulling it from this side to this side. But what am I gonna do? Stitch 2 stitches and cut it and then rethread? I don't know. Like, what do you... Anyway, so I put it down for a while. Stitch Man keeps saying, you hate it. I don't hate it. I actually really love it. But I couldn't get into a rhythm with it. So I will get back to it because it needs to be done. Because I fully expect another one for my next birthday. Stitch Man. So he's going to have to do another one. And another one that's full of confetti. You guys do way crazier things than I do with confetti and such. But my New Brunswick pattern that I don't know the last time that I showed this, but it's actually starting to kind of look like New Brunswick now. So, well, there we are. New Brunswick. It's Hopewell Rocks. So it's almost done. Like, this is the top. And this is almost the bottom. It's only going to come out here a little bit more, and then I just got to finish up over here. So it's pretty close to being done. I don't know why I stopped it. The colors are really pretty and fun to work with. Okay, let me see. Let me consult my list of things that I wanted to talk about, because I have to keep it short. This is Stitch Man's floss tube, okay? This isn't the Melissa show. Also, yeah, one of the things I have written down is Darcy says I ramble. I haven't been rambling. I have not been rambling as badly as I did with the last ones, to be fair. Oh, okay. So there is a pattern that I've been looking for, you guys, since I started doing this, pretty much. It's by Stitchrovia, and it's Here Comes the Sun. And I don't know if it was part of a stitch along or like a pattern package that doesn't exist anymore, but if anyone has that pattern and they would be willing to sell it to me, I would please send it to me, because, or tell me about it, I mean, because I really want to do it. And I've asked Stitchman, like, can you like make me up something sort of similar, or just something with the sun or something? He was like, well, you know, no. So I need that pattern. If somebody knows where I could get it, I need it in my life. It's like my favorite Beatles song, and it just makes me warm and fuzzy and happy when I hear it, and when I see that pattern, it just brings back all of the feels. So also I have this new little poncho thing that is my favorite purchase that I think I've purchased new in a very long time. We don't really buy new anything. So I bought this one thing new because I've wanted it for literally years. And I finally got it for myself, and I love it so much. It's just so perfect. Nothing. Only Stitchman does foolish things. I'm totally normal. Speaking of normal, Kaylee Cross Stitch and I are best friends. Even if she doesn't know it. Best friends. So, I need something new to do for the summer, because it's summer, so why not? Are you guys doing this spooky summer style again, or is there something else I could jump on board with? Sort of summery, or something? Guess that's it. Short and sweet today, folks. Darcy's like telling me to wrap it up. Like, I'm taking up too much of your time. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Anyway, keep it real. Oh, I just did Fonzie. Hey. Peace and love, guys. See ya. I'm out. Stop that, ghost.
And now back to me. Me. First, let's talk about Sunflower Cottage. And let's see what I said about Sunflower Cottage 3 weeks ago. So now that it's here, and now that you've seen it in all of its glory, this is probably going to be the one that I work on the most over the next couple of weeks, if I stay in the sunflowery kind of mood that I'm in, because I'm going to move this Q-snap as soon as I turn this camera off. And true to form, do you think that I touched that at all in the past 3 weeks? Do you think that I picked that up and put even one stitch in that sunflower stitch along? Not one. Never picked it up, never touched it. As for things that I made actual progress on, Chessie. Let's take a look and see what Chessie looked like last time.
This is what Chessie looked like last time you saw it.
Darcy probably regrets asking me to do this.
And this is what Chessie looks like today. Not bad, right? Not bad. I did this. Stop for a second. Everybody just stop. This is killing me. I love Chessie. Don't get me wrong. I love Chessie. When this is done, this is going to be maybe one of my, if not the favorite thing that I have ever stitched. I love it. But this page of blue and purple is going to be the death of me. I just can't get through it, and it feels like it's taking forever. I've started to do stuff. You can see here I went down the side a little bit to try to break up the monotony of I just keep going across and across and across like this. I thought, well, maybe if I take a little bit of a chunk and I go down instead, maybe I'll do it like I'm mowing a lawn or something, and I'll go around in I don't know, something. I got to get this page done because it's June already. It's June. When I started the year, I thought I would love to, maybe I won't get this far. Like, I'm not going to be mad at myself if I don't, but I would love to be all the way to the other side, like have this whole strip done, which is 5 pages worth. 5 pages worth. This is the first of 5 pages of the 5 pages I wanted to get done. And I'm still nowhere near done, and it's June. I can't take it anymore. Does anybody want to borrow this from me and finish it for me? I can't take it. I know it's an important chunk of like the picture as a whole, and it needs to be done, and it's gonna I get it, and it's not even like it's not fun, like it's fine, like it's still colorful, it's blue and purple, and it's like it's fine. It's just where's Chessie? I haven't seen Chessie in 6 months. He's over here all rolled up, and I miss him. I just want to see him. I feel like when I finally get this done and I move this over, I'm gonna be fully into like boom, like the next 2 pages are basically all Chessie. Like he's going to be almost all done. Even down below, I'm going to start winding again because that's mostly branches and background too, because Chessie himself is mostly in the next 2 pages. And once I get there, I'm going to be very happy about that. And I feel like it might go a little bit faster because I'll be more excited to see him come together. But this has taken me since, like, this is what it looked like in, like, if you go back to my like December anniversary video or whatever, it was just, I think I had just finished this page, and like, this is how much I did in 6 months. In 6 months, this is how much I haven't even done 1 page. So I'm gonna try really hard to just buckle down, put my head down, get to work. I don't know what this is, but I think I'm dying. Hang on. I'm gonna plow through, and I'm gonna get this done, because it's not even, like I said, it's not unenjoyable. It's just so much of the same thing. And I get distracted. I want to do something else, and I've got to, like, I'll do a little bit. I don't know. I've never had a page take this long before, and I'm over it. I'm over it, and I want it done. And that's gonna be a goal for the immediate future, to get this page done and get back to Chessie, because he's all rolled up here and he can't breathe and he needs a bath. And I need to see him again. I need to scratch his ears. We need to see Chessie, right? We need to see Chessie. Next up, I'm going to set this up with a little bit of a story first. If you've been with me throughout these videos, you might remember me complaining that, first of all, hold on. I started with Melissa. The 2 of us started the Jacob 2022 Stitch Along on time in January. We started on Oatmeal Ada to match the one that we did last year, and blah, 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 blah. Go back and rewatch my old videos so I don't have to tell this whole story again. But we decided that we didn't like it and wanted to restart. We didn't like the floss that we chose, so we wanted to restart it. But I couldn't find any more Oatmeal Ada. And I know I could have ordered it. And I know the only really place, the option that is a good option for me to get stuff like that here where I live is Michael's. And every single time that I went to Michael's, they had a spot for it there on the shelf with a tag that was always empty. It was never there. And I know that I could have just mentioned that to somebody that works there, or asked for a manager or something. Can somebody order this for me? But that's cheating. I can't do that. That's cheating. I have to find it because I walked in and found it. I can't manipulate the system, right? That's cheating. So every single friggin' time I go there, it's not there. It's never there. And I have made it sort of a routine at least once a week to just stop in at Michael's, and just out of curiosity, I'll go check. And at this point, I'm not expecting to see anything because it's just never there. But I stop in and I look anywhere. Well, where do you think this story is going? I went in last week sometime or whenever it was, expecting to see nothing, and I walk over to the fabric section, and what do I see there? Hallelujah. What did I see? Saints be praised. Life is like a box of chocolates. I could have been a contender. Say hello to my little friend. If you build it, he will come. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Come and get one in the yarbles. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. We all go a little mad sometimes. Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape. They actually had oatmeal Ada at Michael's. What? So I bought it. And I restarted it. And that means that we get to hear the Trixie Tricycle song to introduce it. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Two of us stitching Jacob's 2022 stitch along, taking turns with the stitching, stitcher switching. Who is working on the mystery cell, designed by our pal? It's a duet.
And look at this. Look at this with the fancy Leo and Roxy floss. Look, just look how gorgeous it is. Look at it. Look at it. I can't take it. I'm dying. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. Something that was blue, but that kind of matched one of the blues that I used for Fruits of Plenty, but not necessarily exactly the same. On the same oatmeal Ada, like, you've heard all this before. You don't need to hear this again. It's perfect. It's just, it's perfect. And look how here, I've got Fruits of Plenty here somewhere. Here it is. To see how well they're going to look when they're all done side by side. I still didn't frame this yet. That's a thing I got to do I got to make that a priority for this year or next year. I've got a drawer full of finishes that need to be framed. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But here, look how nice these are going to look next to each other when they're all done. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? And here's what we had originally, and you can see them side by side. I know I was supposed to send this to Morty in England. She wants to take this off my hands, and I'm going to someday. When you least expect it, this is going to show up someday. It's still here in Canada. If you want to swing by Canada and pick it up, you might get it a little bit faster, but someday you'll get it. Anyway, look. So this is what we were doing originally, and again, there's nothing wrong with this. I think that we or a person could continue on with this same variegated floss and finish the whole thing, and it would look spectacular. It's not like there's something wrong with it. It's just not what we wanted. We wanted this. This is exactly what we wanted. And like when you're imagining this and we start stitching and we're getting this, you can really see that it's just like we're trying to convince ourselves that this is what we wanted when we knew it wasn't what we wanted. I hate restarting things. I hate getting this far into something and just abandoning it and like admitting defeat. But I'm really glad that we did, because this is what we wanted. We didn't want this. We wanted this. And you can see the difference. Look at the difference. Isn't that cool? This is a variegated floss that is like, it's subtle. Like I don't even think that I'm going to be able to do it justice here on camera or focus it at all. But like when you look at it with your human eyes face to face, you can really see the difference. Like I don't know how variegated it looks from just looking at it like this, but in person you can really see it. But it's not so dramatic that it's like it's both obvious and subtle at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just perfect. It's not like this where it's like, can you see that this is variegated? Can you see the subtlety of this? There's no subtlety in this whatsoever. It's light and then it's dark 2 stitches later. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for my brain. It's also forcing me, this is probably a good thing, because I can be very, very wasteful with floss. This is forcing me to not be so wasteful, because this ain't your grandma's DMC. This stuff is not cheap. So I'm trying not to waste it like I normally do. Like I'll get a knot and I'll just be like, fuck it, I'll just cut the whole thing and just restart it. Or like I've got a length that is a pretty decent length, but I'm just like, am I gonna save that? Whatever. I'm very, very wasteful with floss, which is not, I'm not bragging about that. I shouldn't be so wasteful, but I have not wasted a single stitch of this floss and it's like it's worth every penny, but it's a lot more expensive than a normal DMC, and I'm gonna have to buy some more of it in order to continue on with the rest of this. So I'm trying to squeeze every stitch I can out of it. I'm doing the thread chicken thing. Like, anybody ever play thread chicken where you got one, I can get one more. Maybe I can get two more. I've got 5 more stitches. Is this enough? And you got like, you're stretching it, and you just like, you got to pull the needle over. Is it going to come undone? It's like, it's actually kind of, I can do it. I'm not going to rethread it. I can get one more stitch out of it. Another benefit of falling behind on a sal like this is, people that are keeping up with it are posting pictures of it, and you can see how it's turning out, and you can make decisions based on that. So it's actually not that bad of a thing to have fallen this far behind, because we've made a decision about this that might not have been the decision that we made before. Jacob has had some options in here at certain points where like there's flowers and stuff like that, where if you don't want it to be just all one color, you could mix it up and make it like a different color, kind of like this is, like a light and a dark. See, 2 colors. Get the concept of not the same color. There's 2 colors. And that is what we thought we were going to do. And maybe even our names in the lighter color, and at certain points, like put the lighter, maybe even use this exact same color so they would kind of match. But the people that are doing this in just one color have been posting pictures of it, and it's gorgeous. I think that we like the one color more than even the second color. And plus, I would have to, I started to think maybe I would, if I'm going to do that, do I want to just squirt it in randomly? I might want to put a little bit more thought into, like, maybe this should have been lighter, or maybe I should have it evenly spread out if I'm going to do that kind of a thing. Otherwise it might look weird. But anyway, I really like the monochrome, like one color versions that I've been seeing. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're not going to do the multicolored thing. We're going to keep this one Leo and Roxy floss color, and it's going to be spectacular. But in order to incorporate sort of our visions of like everything matching, we did think that maybe, depending on what he's going to do next year, if Jacob's going to do another stitch along for 2023 and what that one looks like, and if that one wouldn't look right, then maybe we can find another similarly sized Jacob pattern that we were thinking maybe we could do. If this one's going to be all this, maybe we could do another one that is all this lighter color, and then fruits of plenty. Hang on. And then fruits of plenty in the middle, in between the two things. We got a light one, we got a dark one, and we got a light and a dark one, and we've got like a Jacob trilogy hanging on the wall. I think that might look pretty cool, don't you? What do you think? I think we're gonna do that. Or see what the next year's one is, or find something else, or do something so that we're gonna have a Jacob trilogy. My whole house is just turning into like a Jacob museum. I've got Spirits of the Dead. I've got the Christmas one that I did. I've got other things on the go. Like, I'm just like, if you're ever passing through Canada and you want a history of Jacob, just stop by my house and I'll charge you $10 and you can look at my walls. Or I don't know, but Jacob's really taking over my house. But I think that would look pretty cool if we can find the right thing. Light, dark, light and dark. What do you think? Cool, right? One quick little thing I wanted to mention before I move on. My mother-in-law is sort of like a really avid secondhand shopper, like yard sailor, that kind of stuff, always looking for a good deal. And she found recently some floss and she thought of me when she saw it, which I really appreciate. But normally, I don't want to sound unappreciative, but normally when people say stuff like that, I was at a yard sale and I found some floss or some stitching things for you. It's usually like, 40-year-old stuff that has been sitting in a basement for a long time. That's all like, it's the old stuff and it's all faded, or it's all like covered in smoke or something. Like, it's like, I really appreciate the thought, but I don't have the heart to tell you that I'm not going to use this stuff. But this stuff that she got me actually looks really current and new and like in really good shape. The funny thing about it though is that it's entirely DMC 798, and there's 24 of them. I have a lifetime supply of 798 is a really nice color. I use it for Chessie and I've got look at this. I've got 24 brand new skeins of 798. So I'm going to find something to do with it. Does it, like, if you have any suggestions of like, hey, this is a sampler that would look good in like a blue like that or something, I don't know, because I'm really happy that I have this and they look perfect and they look like they look new and current. They don't look like old stuff and old grimy things or whatever. Like it's fantastic, but like it's look at this. It's a lifetime supply of $7.98. Anybody need some $7.98? Who wants some? All right, next up is the return of an old classic segment. You know it, you love it. You've got questions, I've got answers. It's time for Ask Me Anything. Ask me anything. First up, somebody with the username Sycamore Stitches asked me, are you seriously not going to show us the picture of you as a young Shaun White? I wondered if anybody would call me out on that I talked about this picture of me from when I was a kid and then I didn't show the picture. I don't actually know. I think the picture that the actual picture I was talking about is a hard copy picture that I don't know where. I don't remember exactly which picture it was, but I do know that I have plenty of similar types of pictures from that same era. So if the people want it, I got to give the people what they want. So here you go, young Stitch Man in all of his glory. Look at this kid. Look at this kid right here. That's a cool kid right there, don't you think? Look at that fiery red hair. Look at here's another one. Wow. Now that's a kid that's going to grow up to be quite the ladies' man right there, don't you think? Can't you just tell to look at him? And this one, all right. I think we've seen enough. Haley Briscoe asked me a legitimate stitching question. What method do you use to start and end a single confetti stitch in your full coverage pieces since you don't do the parking madness? I don't know if I'm gonna if I get motivated here, maybe later on I'll set up a little angle so that I can demonstrate this as I'm talking about it, which might make more sense. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it sitting here right now. So you might just have to listen to my words and use your imagination. We'll see how motivated I get. But when I've got one stitch and I don't park it, I kind of just like I'll do like a half stitch, like a tent stitch, and leave a little floppy tail there at the end sticking out. And then when I complete the stitch, coming back up around it the other way, I'll make sure that the thread pulls over around the tail, so that hang on, I'm burping. So that when I complete the stitch, the tail is like weaved into the stitch, and then I'll take that one stitch and slide it underneath of some other existing stitches to secure it, and then it doesn't come out on either end. I know that doesn't sound super secure, that it's only like a little bit secure on one side and a little bit secure on the other side, but I've never had a problem doing it that way, especially with full coverage pieces, because even though it's only like you only looped it like one time underneath half a stitch and you think that's going to be secure, especially with full coverage, there's so many other stitches around it all the time that you're going to be constantly doing, that it's not just half a stitch. It's going to be like you're going to stitch over it again, and you're going to stitch over it again, and like everything just gets sort of naturally interlocked with everything else when they're in such tight quarters like that next to each other. So I've never had a problem with any stitches coming out or anything like that, doing it that way. If I was doing something that was a little bit more spread out and there was just like one random stitch over here and one random stitch over there, I don't know that would be the best way to do it. I might have to learn how to pin stitch or something like that, or figure out something else out. I don't know, but it's never come up. So I've never had a problem doing it the way that I do it. Does that answer your question? I do know that some of you who like parking are probably thinking, why don't you just, instead of sliding it under the stitches like that and cutting it off, why don't you just take it to the next spot and just leave it there, and then it's already ready to go and you don't have to go through this every single time? And in theory, I agree with you that would probably be a smarter, easier, better thing to do. I don't like the mess. I don't like the mess of threads hanging down. And that's it. That's the only reason I don't do it. It's too messy. One last little group of questions from Bug the Fish, and then in brackets, Mother has questions. I hope that some of that is right, or that's your username or something, because either that or I was high when I wrote that. I don't know, but that's what I wrote down. There's three quick questions here. Are you a member of the Embroiderers Guild of America? Do you get teased by other guys? And do you have stitching buddies? And do you watch football with the guys and stitch while watching it? Well, yes. What? Okay, first, Embroiderers Guild of America. I don't know what that is. and I'm not in America. So now, if we have a similar thing here in Canada, maybe I should look into that, because I don't know, for the longest time, 30 years plus, I thought I was the only stitcher in the world. I didn't know any other stitchers. So if there's a thing where people do this and they have a club, maybe I should get in on that. What do you think? Do I have stitching buddies? No, not really. Melissa stitches now, my wife, which, like, that's the closest thing I've ever had to, like, a stitching buddy. Let's stitch together. I've never had that. I have actually, a couple of times in the past, I've had friends who, like, they'll see what I do and they want to try it too, and they'll get me to teach them, and like, and they would sit with me for a session or two, and they'd get the hang of it, and, like, you know, come over and we'll stitch together. But it always petered out very, very, very quickly. So I've never, my cats are my stitching buddies. Do you get teased by other guys? Not so much anymore. But yeah, that was a thing, especially like as a teenage boy and into like young adulthood, when I'm trying to be like a guy. Like, I know this is all just stereotype stuff, but like, yeah, you get, there's teasing that goes along with this kind of stuff. I will say though, until when people would come over and see the things that I actually did, maybe this is a good opportunity to throw in a little collage of some of the things that I've done over the years as a teenager. Here's some of Stitch Man's old stitchings. Let's look at the stitchings that he's done. Here's some from when he was a teenager and around 20, and they're on his mother's walls, and they're all over everywhere. Something like that. So when people would come and actually see in person the things that I did, they'd shut up real fast about the teasing, because it wasn't what they were imagining, and they were very, very, very impressed by it. But like the idea that I'm in high school and, like, you know, oh, I've got a hole in my underwear. Darcy will stitch it up for you, or like, knit me a sweater for Christmas, would you? Knit me a pair of socks over there. You know, that you get that kind of stuff. Like, that wasn't like just constant ridicule or anything, but like whenever anything like that would come up, like, somebody needs to, I have a hole in my socks, or I need to knit a new hat or something. Darcy will do it for you. Darcy can knit you a hat. Darcy can fix your socks for you. No, he can't. It's not the same thing. I can't do that. So I did kind of feel growing up a little bit of that sort of embarrassment. Like, I didn't put myself out there and advertise to people that I was a stitcher. I kind of kept it to myself, which is kind of sad, because I would love to have shared it with people. But I did feel kind of not embarrassed that I did it, but like, I'm also not going to like rush into my high school and announce to everybody all the things about my new needle and thread and all that kind of stuff. It's just not a thing that I felt like I don't know. I don't like to be made fun of any more than anybody else does. It is kind of funny to me now, knowing that, like, because I remember those feelings and how that felt, and the comments that I would get from people, and sort of having like feeling like I had to keep it to myself. That now that I've found all of you wonderful people, that same stuff that I felt like almost embarrassed about and then I had to hide about myself, that stuff is now what makes me one of the cool kids. It doesn't make sense to me, but it's really, really, really cool. I even got a little bit of that even as an adult. I'm just remembering now that I had a job once where we were in a training class, and we did all these like getting to know you type activities, and we'd fill out things to like everybody to get to know each other. And I did mention on my thing that I was doing that like my favorite hobby is cross stitching. And when everybody compiled all the things and got all their answers down about like getting to know this and that about people, they voted me person with the strangest hobby. And I feel like that was a little bit, not to get off on like a whole, like get off on a soapbox or anything, but I feel like that's only because I'm a straight man that it was a strange hobby. Because if it was any one of the women in the class who said they like to cross stitch, I don't feel like everybody would have been like, wow, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. This person definitely has the strangest hobby I've ever heard. I think the strangeness was that I like sports, and I like beer, and I like women, and I like cross stitching, and that's what made it so strange. When it really, why is that so strange? It's not. I like stitching, and it's really cool, right? Why is that strange? The last part of this question was, do you watch football with the guys while stitching it? I have indeed watched the Super Bowl while stitching. Yes, I've done that. Football's not really my thing, but sports in general, not like with the guys, or like if I'm going to have people over to like watch a sporting event, I'm probably not going to sit there and stitch. But there was a long time before, especially before I had a family, I was just living on my own, and I'm more of a baseball guy. The Blue Jays I love, and I had the Blue Jays schedule written on my calendar in my living room. Every single one of their games written down so that I would know where and when. Like I didn't want to miss a Jays game, so that was part of my routine for a really long time. I'd turn on the Jays game, I'd grab a beer, and I would sit down and I'd stitch while the game was on. I did that all the time. Before we go, one other thing that I wanted to tell you that I keep forgetting to mention is that I am registered for the April weekend of next year's Stitch North retreat in Ontario, and I'm really, really, really excited about it. So if any of you are also registered for April of 2023 Stitch North, I'll see you there, and we're gonna have a party. It's gonna be. I've never been to a retreat like this, let alone like one that like it seems to be growing, and like there's gonna be a lot of cool people there, a lot of Flosstubers and a lot of Instagram people that I'm finally gonna meet people in person, and so are you if you're going. I'm not gonna like I don't want to tell other people's like. Because I know some people that are going, but I don't know if they've told you that they're going or not, so I'll let them tell you. I don't know if it's a big secret or not or whatever, but it's not for me to tell you what other people are doing, but just there's some really cool people going, people that you know and people that you watch. There's a lot of people going, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. People that you like might daydream sometime. I wonder what these people would be like in a room together. We're gonna be in a room together. It's gonna be fun. And as of now, the way it's looking, I'm very likely coming alone. So get ready for some debauchery. So who knows what might happen. I was chatting with one of my fellow Flosstubers who will remain nameless about, like, I was just joking about, like, no, I'm not gonna make, it's not all about me. I'm not gonna make a spectacle of myself. I'm not like that in real life. I can be on good behavior and all this kind of stuff. And this person said to me, "Are you kidding me?" This is, in case you didn't know, it's Vegas rules at Stitch North. Whatever happens there stays there. So I was just like, don't tell me that, because imagine the trouble that I can get myself into.
Dramatization.
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. I've never been to anything like this before, let alone alone. Like I'm sitting here alone right now. I might seem like, hey, he's fun and he's personable and he's outgoing and blah blah blah. I'm alone right now. I'm not comfortable doing new things around a lot of people. But I'm really excited about it. And if you're going to be there, I'm excited to meet you, and I hope that you're excited to meet me too. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that as it gets closer, but for now, April 2023, if you're registered, if you're going, I'll see you there. Fun, right? So I think that's all I've got for today. I think we'll end it there. I'm coming back for sure in 2 weeks, because I've got something that's specific to 2 weeks from now that's going to be a sort of like special little thing that I hope works out the way I'm imagining, and I hope is fun for people. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Until then, thanks for watching. As always, thanks for all the things. Thanks for being nice. Chris it up. Keep stitching. See you then. If I'm not me, who the hell am I? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. They call it a Royale with cheese. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti